It turns out Democrats spent $50 million to help get some of those 300 Republicans on the ballot. Take Don Bolduc, the Republican candidate for Senate in New Hampshire. He's now within a point of Maggie Hassan. Democrats thought it would be easier to beat him than his primary opponent. They thought that would be the case in at least 13 races across 10 states. They gave Bolduc $3 million worth of free advertising, so he would be the one. The election denier would be the one on the ballot for November. Last night, Jake Tapper over at CNN pushed on Patrick Maloney, the chair of the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee, otherwise known as the DCCC, that used its war chest to also help an election denier.
By amplifying these election deniers, aren't you holding responsibility to a degree for the undermining of democracy that you're also warning about?
Oh, my God. Jake, let's be really clear. What that question you just played was about was who's questioning the outcome of elections. And that started with Donald Trump, and we all know it.
And to Jake's credit, he continued to push back on that. Didn't really get a clear answer other than a bunch of excuses. Bob Cusack is here, editor-in-chief of The Hill. Forget for a second just sort of the politics and the gotcha moment of Republicans that are enjoying this. Who came up with this strategy? And did they not think about this?
It's a great question, Leland. And I've been covering politics for more than 25 years, and I've never seen it, certainly to this degree. And the fact is, you know, one of the more egregious cases, too, is Democrats spent money against Peter Meyer, who supported Trump's impeachment on the second impeachment, and he lost in the primary, and that candidate could very well be in Congress. So, you know, politicians love to have it both ways, but they also need to be called out when they're trying to have it both ways.
Yeah, no, that's the point. That's what journalists do. What is again confounding to me is the idea that nobody in Democratic politics, as this was happening, sort of looked ahead and thought, gee, this is going to not look very good come October when we're trying to use this threat to democracy argument, and when we're trying to say that the January 6th committee is the pillar of good and freedom and all things American, and yet we're the ones who were involved in this.
Yeah, now it's confounding. And when Democratic lawmakers, at least some of them, found out that this was happening, they publicly ripped the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee, and you showed Maloney with Jake Tapper, and those questions by Jake were totally legitimate. And imagine if you're a donor for these Democratic entities, whether it's Senate, House, or governor's races, and then you find out your money's going to a MAGA candidate. I mean, that is just so bizarre. And when one or two or maybe more of these candidates get to Congress, we're going to be writing about that. We're going to be talking about that. And that's going to be egg on the face on Democrats. It's such a huge gamble, and it may backfire.
Have you, speaking of donors, because that's really who controls this, right? And we put up the list of the people who are in charge of the groups that spent the money. Noam Lee, Democratic Governors Association, J.B. Gorsuch with Senate Majority PAC, and then Sean Patrick Maloney. Have you seen any pushback yet from donors? Is there an anger yet, or does that only happen if somebody like Bolduc ends up in the Senate?
Yeah, I think that's when you're going to see it more. Now, while donors I have not seen publicly go after these entities for supporting MAGA candidates. Some Democrats in Congress have. But when all said and done, and these candidates, if that happens, some of them anyway, get into Congress, then I think you're going to see the donors. And I think you're going to have to see the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee, which has had a rocky cycle under Maloney. And Maloney's running for his own seat, and he's in a tough race, and Republicans would love to take him out. I think you're going to have to see the next chair of that committee do things very differently because of all the criticism they've gotten this cycle. And they're very, as you know, Leland, they're very, very, very likely to lose the House next week.
Well, yeah, so it seems almost impossible to draw a scenario where they don't lose the House, possibly lose the Senate. Real quick.
It's you guys, I think we're looking at anywhere from 15 to 25 seats in the House.
All right. I had one more for you, but it's going to have to wait till next time. But okay. It's good to see you, Bob, as always. Thank you. We'll talk soon, hopefully before the election, certainly afterwards. Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.